Hello there. I've had a few questions of late about this EV exemption for FBT, and I thought I'd just explain a bit about what it actually means for clients. So first of all, what is a fringe benefit? Well, it's pretty much anything that a business gives to you as an employee or an associate of an employee, which is sort of not deductible to the business and wouldn't really be deductible to you. So really a private benefit you're getting a bit of a tax deduction for when you wouldn't normally. The fringe benefits tax regime normally works to undo all this good work of yours to try and get a dodgy tax deduction. And the point with this EV exemption is that you can effectively get some private use of a motor vehicle without having that fringe benefits tax consequence as a way for the government to encourage us to buy EVs. So, eligibility. Basically, you don't pay FBT if the car is a zero or low emissions vehicle. What does that mean? Well, it means it's a battery, hydrogen or plug-in hybrid electric. It's a car, so it's not like a van or a truck or something. And it's not a motorbike or a scooter. It needs to be held after 1 July 22. So if we're talking about something you've done in the past, check whether you were eligible at the time. The car is used by a current employee or their associates. That's an important one because what they're effectively saying is that, for example, I could get an EV under this arrangement and actually give it to my wife to use and it would still be okay. It actually doesn't need to be in any way related to the business, which is actually a really, really attractive part of this whole tax package. A luxury car tax has never been payable on the importation or sale of the car. Well, how do we know that? Well, basically, for this current year we're in now, 89 grand is the magic number. So be really careful though, because when you see the invoice, there's bits and pieces like additional fittings and stamp duty and GST and things like that. And some are in, some are out. So just check with us if it's getting close to that amount that you're actually paying. Check with us because I've seen one that came extremely close to not being eligible. Next, so that's right. Someone asked, when will this be over? At the moment, the government are intending to look at it mid-2027. So we'll see what happens after that. So what's it actually worth? Well, to answer that question, we need to make some assumptions because obviously different tax rates, amounts, blah, blah, blah. So the person using the car has very little real business usage and is currently claiming nothing. So I'm assuming that if someone's looking at this, they're sort of thinking, well, I'm not really getting any tax deduction for my car as it stands. So I'm going to assume that you're getting nothing. So this is really designed for people who are home to work, work to home sort of car usage people. And of course, that trip doesn't count for tax purposes. The business buying the car is GST registered and qualifies for the small business depreciation. So I just sort of assume something. I'm effectively assuming that most of the car is written off over around about 5 years. It's a bit longer than that really, but eventually the business will get the benefit and the bulk of it is within 5 years. I'm also assuming that the tax deduction is worth somewhere in the range of 25%, being the small business company tax rate, right up to 47%. An individual in the highest marginal tax bracket will pay. When we spend more than $68,000 on a car, we're actually limited to $68,000 worth of depreciation. Keep that in mind. And we also have a limit of GST claim of 6191. So the EV cost of $80,000 capped to $68,000 for depreciation. We're going to assume that the electricity is nothing because people are using the excess that they've generated at home in most cases. Insurance, rego, service, etc. I think the total amount that we're getting a deduction for is $103,000 plus the GST claim of $8,000. If you add all that together at a 47 cents on the dollar tax rate, it's about $57,000 cash benefit, which is about $11,000 a year. The company tax level, it's more like $34,000 total or $7,000 a year. But I think a lot of people who are considering this are probably in that closer to the 47 cents in the dollar rate. So pretty attractive numbers. I think it is a significant additional tax saving. Just from conversations with clients, I feel like whilst it's very generous, it may not drive the decision to actually buy an EV where someone wasn't otherwise considering it anyway, but it might push them over the line if they were. Of course, ask us for how it would apply to you because everyone's situation is different and I've really given some loose numbers here. So hopefully that helps. Give us a yell if you need a hand. Thank you.